So, let's talk about something. What if church wasn't just a building you go to on Sunday? What if it was something you are? That's a pretty radical idea, right? Well, it's the core question behind the organization we're diving into today, the House of Prayer for All Nations. It's really more than a building, it's a movement, and it seems to be tapping into this huge desire people have for a faith that actually lives and breathes out in the real world, in our communities.
And this quote right here from founder Johnny Martin really says it all. It's time for the saints from everywhere to come together and be the church and not just go to church. Wow. I mean, that's the spark for everything we're about to get into. It's a huge challenge, really, to shift your faith from just a Sunday morning thing into something you do every single day. So the big question is, how do they plan on making that happen?
Okay, so it all starts with the people who had the vision, right? Let's meet the folks who are actually building this church without walls, Johnny and Yoni Martin.
First up, we've got Johnny Martin. You can see he has this background in safety and security, which means he's spent his career working with people from every single walk of life. But what's really interesting is his passion for practical, real-world help. He's all about helping people connect their faith to things that matter day to day, like their finances. He even wrote a book about it. You can tell he really has a heart for helping people where they're at.
And then you have Yoni Martin. Talk about a powerful combination. She is known as a profound public speaker, but also a passionate listener. That's a rare mix. She's the founder of her own women's ministry, Women Without Excuses, and she's clearly the voice for connection in this duo. She's all about building that sense of community by sharing stories and just encouraging people. So when you put these two visionaries together, what's their mission? Well, it's pretty straightforward. Their whole goal with the House of Prayer for All Nations, or THEHOPFAN, is to give people opportunities to fellowship, to connect, to pray, and to actually become that church without walls. And it's important to get this. They're not trying to replace the traditional church. It's more about opening up new paths for faith to be put into action, for anyone who's looking for that more hands-on, integrated spiritual life.
Okay, so how do they do it? This is where it gets really interesting. They've built this whole thing on a clear structure, 4 foundational pillars. And these pillars are designed specifically to turn belief into actual, tangible action. Yep, the magic number is 4. It's a really simple framework, but don't let that fool you. It's super powerful. So what are they? Fellowship, service, prayer, and learning. Let's break each one of these down.
First up, pillar number 1, fellowship. And this one's all about something we all need, right? That fundamental human need to just get together, connect with other people, and build a real strong community with other believers. It's all about creating unity.
And of course, they ground this whole idea in Scripture. This verse from Psalms says it perfectly. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. So it's not just a nice idea. This verse is describing unity as something that's literally good and pleasant, something life-giving. And that is exactly the goal of their fellowship pillar.
All right, on to pillar number 2, service. And this is where faith, really gets its hands dirty. It's about taking action, actively helping other people, and putting the needs of the community ahead of your own.
And this quote from Matthew, man, it just perfectly captures the mindset. The path to being great isn't about having people serve you. It's the exact opposite. It's about you serving them. And they point right to the example of Jesus as the ultimate model for what a life of service and ministry looks like.
Pillar number 3 is prayer. And you can think of this one as the engine room of the whole operation. It's that direct, constant line of communication with God that really fuels everything else that they do. It's the foundation for everything.
And they anchor this pillar in a prayer that, well, pretty much everyone knows, from the book of Matthew. It's all about aligning what you want with a greater divine purpose, not just for you, but for the entire world. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's a powerful idea.
And that brings us to the final pillar, number 4, learning. And I want to be really clear here. This isn't about just sitting in a pew and passively listening to someone talk. Nope. This is about active, diligent study. It's about rolling up your sleeves and really digging into Scripture to understand the foundations of your faith for yourself.
I love how this verse from Timothy frames it. It basically says to become like a skilled workman of your faith, someone who knows their craft so well they don't need to be ashamed, someone who can handle the word of truth with confidence and accuracy. It's really about being empowered because you truly understand what you believe.
Okay, so we've got the 4 pillars: fellowship, service, prayer, and learning. Now, you might be asking, this sounds cool, but how do I actually get involved?
Well, they make it super clear. They offer a direct invitation that shows you the path from just believing in these ideas to actually belonging to the community.
And check this out. Look how simple they make it. The 4 ways to get started perfectly match the 4 pillars we just talked about. So you can just pick whatever speaks to you the most and jump right in. Maybe you're a social person, so you join a fellowship event. Or you want to get your hands dirty, so you sign up for a service opportunity. Or maybe you want to start with a prayer group or a learning session. The choice is yours.
And here's the thing, it's not just about showing up for a single event and then you're done. The real goal is to stay connected. They have these community groups that are specifically designed for all the time between the big events. It's a place where you can get encouragement, ask for prayer, and just learn from what other people are going through on their own journeys. It's about real, sustained connection.
And this last quote from Johnny really brings it home. He says their goal is to make outreach as simple as possible for all churches and ministries. This shows they're not trying to build their own little kingdom here. They're not a silo. They see themselves as a resource, a tool to help any group get out there and do meaningful work in their community.
So that brings us right back to where we started. We've seen their vision, we've walked through their 4 pillars, we've seen how they invite people in. Now that question from the beginning, it's not just a cool idea anymore, is it? It's a real choice. Are you ready to make that shift, to go from just being a spectator to being a participant? To stop just going to church and start being the church?